All right. Yeah, we made it. Okay, we're
Yeah.
live. Been dicking around with technology, talking about stuff so I can get things to work. Here with Troy Francis. We're going to talk about some pickup stuff for the next 25 minutes. If you guys hop on here, make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're going to talk about Troy's new course a little bit here. Troy is a very skilled with pickup. All right. So there's a lot of guys out there that are doing the pickup artist thing, and I don't know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors and a lot of bullshit. Be frank about it. Troy is very polished with what he does. I haven't seen like your products yet. I'm going to review this one at some point.
Yeah.
But when I talk to you and when I have you on the show, like I know that you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like it's like I know that you've been doing this for a while. You've been in this game for what, 2 decades now? Probably more than that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, about 2 decades. Like right around when kind of like Mystery Method, and then they got into what the game came out is kind of when you started getting into
it. So it's a bit it's slightly less. It's about 2004, so I guess it's sort of like 15 16 years or something. But even before that, of course, I was still meeting girls and things. It's just that I hadn't started to started to do it in that more sort of studied way.
Right. And so you had a chance to work with a lot of guys that are out there in London and doing this stuff and comparing notes and getting out there and hitting it. So definitely got skills with this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just that I think with the competition in the marketplace, so to speak, with these pickup guys, they feel like they have to overpromise a whole bunch of stuff. Like you're gonna learn these magic words from this course, and you're just gonna have tens supermodels just falling out into your window. And obviously it's a little bit more, you have to put some work into the skill sets, right? There's no magic to this, but it is a lot of skill that you need to develop, and that's what you're offering, the skills, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, I would not overpromise in that way. It's not that there's anybody can offer you a golden key and it's like suddenly you just do this one thing, do these 6 things, and you're going to get any woman in the world. It just doesn't work like that, Nobody gets that kind of success. Even guys who are very high level guys, like someone like Tristan Tate, who is good looking, well put together, rich, etc. Even he will say, I don't get every girl, because not every girl is into his particular type, right? So you're never going to get everybody. So you've got to be realistic from the start. But there's definitely skills that can be learned to help you improve along the journey for sure.
Yeah. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about what the course is about?
So I put together this new course. It's called Dating Conversation Success. And the idea was to put together a very comprehensive guide to having effective and engaging conversations with women that actually lead somewhere. So it actually leads, to getting a phone number, to getting a date, maybe more. And I wanted to help guys with the eternal problem, which is running out of things to say. What do I say next? So what do I say to start? But more importantly, what do I say next? Because it's all very well, you can go up and you can make a compliment or you can say something funny or whatever, but then you've got to carry it on, right? Yeah. So I wanted to really drill down into that in this particular product.
That's really good niche, man. I've been actually like really busy with building my own course and slammed with consults. Like when I'm done with this call we're gonna do, I'm on consults till about 6 EST tonight, like nonstop, back to back. So that's what my schedule's been like, which is good. So I'm not on the chats all the time. I'm not on the internet all the time. I'm other than, helping people out and stuff like that. But I jumped on and I saw the title and the description or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's pretty good, because I get that question all the time. I know guys who are listening to me all the time. They're like, okay, like I got some good openers, know to open. I know how to transition into a close, but like, I don't know what to talk about in between. Yeah. Or I get on they get on the date. It's like, oh, okay, so now what do I talk about? Like, how do I move this conversation from stale and boring to keeping the interest and to building it into even seductive talk and having it be more of a seduction rather than like, so then what did you do? And after, how was your work day? And so, and then after you ate lunch, then what did you do? Like, right. It's like turns into this stupid conversation and Q&A. So it's a very good niche. I think guys, would there's a lot of guys I think who struggle with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking, I've been planning to do a conversation guide for some time because I think, as you say, it's underserved and it's really important. People think, oh, you conversation, like, okay, well, that's obvious, whatever. But basically, if you can't talk, but talk in an effective way with the women that you're meeting, then in most cases, you're going to just get blown out like a cheap paper bag. Now, of course, if you're at the Cancun phone party and you're ripped and she just likes the look of you, then yes, obviously there are exceptions. But in general, what's going to happen is you're going to meet that woman. And even if she does like the look of you, even if she thinks, yeah, he's cute, you're still going to have to stand there and have a conversation with her. And you're probably going to have to go on a date with her and have a conversation with her again. So getting this stuff down, it's so key. It's so important. And I've had examples myself, and I've seen guys where initially the girl does like them. She just fancies them. She thinks he's attractive, whatever. And then the guy goes in and talks to her and he dries up and she loses that attraction.
Right.
So even if you are blessed with wonderful good looks, like obviously we are, Paul, you still need to sort this stuff out because you can still lose out.
Oh, 100%. I mean, because one thing I've noticed too, not just with my own game and pickup, but like with helping guys, across the board. And what's cool is this last year I've really opened up who I'm coaching and consulting with. So I'm getting guys from different socioeconomic levels, different ages, all over the world. Nice. And I'm seeing the trends of how women are behaving all over the world. And I see the similarities and the differences, and the stuff that works just works no matter where we're at in the world. There may be some cultural nuances, but it does work no matter where we're located. But one thing I noticed was that girl game sucks, right? Because girls have, they have so much attention from dudes that they don't really know how to develop or carry a conversation, especially the young hot ones. I mean, notice that with the young hot ones. So so they expect us as men like to be able to carry that conversation and keep them interested.
Yeah, and to do the work as well at the beginning, because I was out last weekend, actually. So I was out with James Tusk last weekend. We taught a boot camp event.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
It was really good. We had a really good group of guys. It was a reasonably big group. There was us and there were some other guys helping with the training. We had a really cool group of guys and all coming from different sort of like having different challenges or different baselines. But they all went out there and smashed it. It was really good. But many of them, with about one exception, because there was this guy that we had who just naturally was really good at talking. He just had the gift of the gab, as we call it. I don't know if you guys say that, but he just had that gift of the gab down, and he was very cheeky. He could talk, and so he was fine. He had some other things to look at, but many of the guys, and this would include me as well when I was learning this stuff, and many guys, they just don't. So guys were going into an interaction. They were seeing a girl walking up, say, "Hey, you look really nice. I just wanted to say hello." And then there's that awkward moment when you just kind of stop and look at her, and it's like, right, now what? Right. And it's getting over that bit. That is the first hurdle to get over.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely a skill set to practice and to learn and to get all the different nuances of how to engage people, and you have to practice it too. You have to actually get out there and practice.
Well, the whole thing about all this stuff is it's about socializing, right? It's about, I mean, there's a guy in the chat talking about like cold approach and stuff, and I mean, cold approach is kind of what we were teaching last weekend, and that's a key part of it. It's going up to somebody that you've never met before and having a conversation with them. But on a broader level, this is just about socializing. It's just about developing those social skills, and this is like go out the house and talk to the guy who's sweeping the street, go and talk to the barista in the coffee shop, like whatever, right? Just get into this vibe and practice that the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, one of the intro things I'll have guys do, this is something you guys can do while listening, because I try to give actionable stuff,
Yeah.
in these things. Is if guys have trouble approaching, engaging people in conversations, a lot of times I find that it's because their anxiety is up when it's a
Yeah.
pretty girl, and they're thinking about how to close her. They're thinking about what they want versus. I'm getting my mic is broken. I don't know if that's true or not.
Buzzing a little bit.
Is it
Getting a
fuzzy?
little bit of a buzz. That's better. Nice, come back.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, dude. I don't, like everything's sticked up right now. Like all of it, bro.
It's always the way.
Annoying. Yeah, it's
we're probably the least tech savvy guys in this whole little space, I think. Because I'm with you, man. I'm with you, man. I mean, I've got the stuff together to some extent, but I definitely I definitely need a bit of help with it.
Dude, I've been like all week. I've been losing my shit. Sorry, too much.
Is it plugged in? Is it plugged in fully?
Dude, yeah, it says yeah. Is it because I'm using these? And now it's all like I had it like set up. You know what I mean? With that, I had it set up fine, and then I started jerking around with that GoPro, and now like everything's off again now. So I don't even know. Turn it on and turn it back on again.
That's what everyone's saying. Here we go. Now you're silent. Now you're mute. We'll get there in the end. Randy's saying, it's your mic, dude. You need to reset the stream. These technical problems always come to bedevil us.
How about now? Hey, how about now?
That's better. That's better. Yeah. And now he's frozen. Well, I don't know if I should carry the can here while he's coming back in. But yeah, so I put together this course basically just to try to share as much as I know about conversation. And look, I mean, it's not as if I'm saying I'm the world's greatest conversationalist. This is something that didn't come naturally to me, and it's something that I had to spend a great many years learning to do effectively. And so everything that I've taught, everything that I put into this course is stuff that I've had to learn over many years in order to get good at this and to practice it really. And like Paul was just saying, so much of this, it's really about being relaxed in the moment, because we were teaching one guy last weekend in the boot camp. We were teaching one guy, and he's like really cool guy, decent guy, loads of great stuff going for him. But when he was in the interactions, he would just freeze up. He'd just freeze up and he'd not be able to express himself. And everything would just disappear. And the problem that happens when that happens to you is that you are not expressing your personality in a full and meaningful way. Okay. You are just not putting yourself across. You're not, just have a look at that. You're just not advertising yourself, because when you think about it, like whatever this thing game, whatever they call it, right? Ultimately, it's marketing. Ultimately, you are the product, okay? And so you're the core product. So it's like, okay, all of the attributes about me, the kind of guy I am, how I'm put together, what I wear, my attitude to life, my accomplishments, etc., etc. So that's the core product. But like any core product, you're going to have to market that product. And in this environment, in this dating environment, you're going to have to market the shit out of that product. Okay, you've got to put it out there, and you've got to tell people about it. Okay, and the way that you deliver that, for the most part, is through conversation. Now, the only people who don't have to use conversation. I can't get in my own show now. Paul can't get in. The only people who perhaps don't have to use conversation is people like Leonardo DiCaprio. And I remember reading a story about Leonardo DiCaprio a while ago where he is, I don't know if this is true, it may be apocryphal, but he's sitting there listening to headphones, and the girl's like, he's got this girl who's come in to basically have sex with him, and she's kind of riding him, and he's just sitting there just reading a magazine, listening to stuff on his headphones. So okay, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, if Leonardo DiCaprio is watching this, then you probably don't need to do a course on conversation skills, because it's just not necessary. But for most of us, you're going to need to have that charm, you're going to need to have that charisma. Now, in saying that, this isn't just a dry course about conversation. It's not just like, well, you say this and then she says that and you say that. What this is a bunch of live examples. So you get to see actual examples of interactions with real women. Okay, so you've got a bunch of these videos. There's 22, 23 of them. And then after each of those videos, you get a comprehensive breakdown where I break down what's happened. I talk about what she's doing. I talk about what I'm doing. I talk about what's working. I talk about what's not working, okay? Because it's all very well to talk about this stuff in a theoretical sense, but we're not in a schoolyard here. We're not in a laboratory, right? You've got to see genuine social interactions as they happen and understand what's going on and understand what people are doing, okay? So that's what it is. So you've got a bunch of these things. And we go from the first section, you're back.
Dude, this is the worst live stream.
I kept it going. I tried to keep it going. I tried to keep the party going.
I'm glad. Hopefully you talked about the course.
I was. I didn't know where to come. I was like, damn, do I leave but anyway, I just carried on. So.
Dude, the computer just crashed on me. That's just what happened now. So I was like, that's why my mic was screwed up. I think, do I sound better now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
dude,
yeah.
That's why the mic was screwed up. It was the computer, actually, not the mic. I think I need to replace this Mac. That sucks. That's going to be like 4Gs, because I'm looking at the good one. I don't want to get like the crappy one.
I know. Well, it's like we were discussing before we came on. I mean, I'm in the same position. I need to update my hardware as well, but
right. I wanted to ride it out till that new core processor came out, but oh well, that's fine.
Well, guys, like, I think Sterling's got the one we're talking about, and it seems to work really well for him. So, and Myron was using it. I mean, God knows what he's using now, probably like a NASA computer or something. But
yeah,
back
Myron has like a professional studio now.
Yeah. But back in the day, when he was one of us, he used to use just the Pro, and it was fine. So
right, yeah, it might be. Mine's a 2017. It might be. Anyway, but well, back into it. Did you tell them about the course?
yeah, and that's the end of the show, guys.
That's the end of the show. Practically, they're getting there.
But no, I was just saying that. Look, this is about conversation, but what it is, it's broken down into. There's 5 key modules. Well, there's 7 modules, but there's 5 modules of like actual examples. You basically see real life interactions. So you see me interacting with a woman, having that conversation. So it starts off with warm ups. Then we go into brief, short interactions, because not all of these conversations need to last for 2 hours. It can be very, very brief. So you see a few of those. Then we see full-length conversations. So like full-length interactions where, phone numbers are exchanged and so on and so forth. And then we see rejections, okay? Because obviously it's important to acknowledge that rejections are a part of this, and that's just this part of the game, whatever. So you see the raw footage of each of those, and then after each one, there's a breakdown video where I go through and actually spend some time taking it apart and explain what's going on. This is what I did. This is what she did. This is what was good. This is what was less good, etc., etc. So really trying to sort of analyze those interactions to pull out the key points.
That's awesome, man. That's really good. That, like I said, that's a really good niche. That's kind of hard for guys to latch onto. They want to grasp onto examples and like people want to model stuff, right? Like they know that when they're showing up in front of a girl that they're not coming off in the way that they'd like to come off. They're not calibrated the way that they want to, socially. And we talk about it in concept, and I give as much example as I can, but there's only so much you can do on YouTube. In consultation with people, I can take them a lot further. That's a one-on-one scenario, and that can be good. But it's like guys just want the knowledge of, all right, here's my part where I think I need to improve, and they don't know how to, like, where do I go?
Well, so what I tried to do is balance it out between two things, because you've got the actual real life examples, and guys in this space, it's always like, yeah, man, where's the receipts and all of that crap. These are just, I mean, receipts is a silly word, but these are examples of real life interactions. So you can see it actually happening, and you can see me actually engaging. So it's clear that I'm walking the walk as well as talking the talk. So you see that, then you get the breakdowns. But there's also a sort of theoretical component as well. I've done a 50-minute video, like basically a talk to camera, where I go through the 12 key principles of conversation that I've identified. And there's a PDF as well, book of that, which is a 60-page PDF, which goes into even greater detail. And I've got Jack Napier to do the audiobook version of that as well. So you have got this sort of like theoretical background information. There's also another about 45-minute video about day game as well, about daytime approach, the principles behind that. So you have got this kind of theoretical stuff as well, but you've also got the practical stuff. And the practical stuff is probably it's really, really key. But you've definitely got some stuff to get your mind working underneath that as well.
Right. No, it's exactly. I think that's really good. It's a good key component. It's very complementary, it sounds like, to a lot of things that I talk about with guys. So I haven't had a chance to review it, but knowing you and knowing that you're very calibrated and good at this stuff, and that's the thing. That's what I like about you. You're not a bullshit guy here, trying to go look at how cool I am. It's just like you're just doing it. You're just doing the work. And I can tell when we've had conversations a few times I've had you on here that you know what you're talking about. You've been doing this for a while. So I imagine it's going to be pretty good. I haven't had a chance to review it yet, but I want to have you on the show and make sure my audience knows about it. There's there's a few people in the chat because it was unannounced show, but I'll usually get quite a few at least that'll see it later within the next 24 hours. So
definitely. I could show the if you got a minute, I could show the trailer that I did. It's just a quick trailer that shows some footage from the course. So I can share that now if I just go and do that.
Yeah, do it. Can you share the screen? Oh, yeah, I see.
Have you got it?
Boom. There we go.
Okay. Tell me if you can hear this.
Yep.
Good. So this is some of the footage that you get inside the course. And all of this stuff obviously is broken down.
Right. These infields look a lot better than mine. Mine is just me throwing a bag over a girl's head and putting her in the game.
Bag game.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Kidnap game. That's what I call it.
Yeah, we just made a compilation of all of these. I mean, obviously, you get to see the actual
what
conversations and so on when you're inside.
Right. Did this all London then?
Yeah, this is all London.
Cool. I feel like London in some places in the US is actually on hard mode. you know, compared to like when I was working around Poland, the girls would open me.
London's a little bit of a mixed bag because in some ways it's quite hard because the attitude of a lot of the women is quite dismissive in many cases.
Right.
But on the other hand, you do have a big population and there's a lot different nationalities here and everything else. So, you know, it's a good place for training actually.
Yeah, right. It's a good training ground for sure. Cool. Now, is most of it like pickup or also covering on the actual date with the chick when you're out with her?
I don't have any dates in it as yet. Partly because they're quite difficult to film.
Okay.
And there's sort of legal aspects to it and everything else. We might look to put something in at a later date. I mean, the thing is, if guys join now, then you're going to have lifetime access to the content. And
so as I update it, yeah, that's cool.
And as I update the content, then obviously you'll get that. So
cool.
And there you go.
Sweet. Nice. And you
it's a good point because dates are obviously a very key component of this, and a lot of the principles that I talk about in the content though will apply to dates as well, right? Because it's similar stuff. You know, it's sexualizing that interaction. It's not being a boring bastard, basically. It's bringing some fun, some lightness into it. So a lot of that stuff will apply to dates as well. But, you know, perhaps at some point we can add some additional date material.
Yeah, it's tough though, isn't it? Like, and that's the other thing people don't understand. I mean, about all these guys screaming for receipts. First of all, a lot of those guys screaming for that stuff are guys that want to live vicariously through other people. They're not out there actually meeting and banging girls like they should be doing and using the material. Your receipts are when you use the material and get results. That's your biggest receipt. Not who I'm bedding down at night, right? But the other part is like a lot of these girls, they don't want like their identities and stuff displayed everywhere. And if they do, then there's an angle and there's also a observation or a bias, you know, the observer effect, right? Like if a girl knows she's being filmed or, you know, she's on a date or whatever, and she allows her face to be shown or whatever like that, it's going to change the outcomes. So it's really difficult, like what you're doing with infields. It's challenging to get the infield, get the audio, get the camera, capture the stuff without violating the girl's privacy, without, you know what I mean, creating a problem there. So it's a real talent just to get the stuff on camera, you know. Yeah.
Well, the guy I work with this guy, he's cameraman in London. He's worked with a load of different people who teach this stuff, and including James Tusk, including Tom Torero. I mean, like a lot of people who've done this, and he's worked in this for a long time, and he's very, very good, and he's good at getting the street stuff. But he won't even film inside because it's not legal actually, because once you're inside, there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, so it's not even legal. But secondly, I think for ethical reasons, it's not something that he wants to do. So, you know, having said all of that, what we're doing, because there's different tiers on this course, so you can buy just the video course, which is the silver tier. But if you go to the gold or the platinum tier, then I'm also doing Zoom webinars, right? So within the Zoom webinars, we will have a session actually talking about dates and focusing on dates. So that it is something we can cover. The principles you learn and pick up, you carry over into the date anyway. I was just curious, about it, because that is where people struggle. They can open, they can close. How do we carry the conversation? Short term, long term, whatever. And I mean, I have a format that I use more or less. I've been giving guys. I'm sure it's similar, you know what I mean, to what you're doing. But what'll be good is you'll give practical advice and like topics and stuff like that. Well, my goal is to build curiosity, investment on her part, and then fantasy to get into the imaginative mind. Because if she's in her imagination,
You know what I mean? Even if it's a little like joking banter about stuff, for example, can be
Yeah.
imagination. When I can get her into imagination, that's where seduction happens. So it's imagining, you know what I mean, yourself in a situation, or being, and not just at this bar right now, but being in the bedroom later, like that. When it's something that projects into the future, something that's not current, happening right now, or already happened, that's a different part of their mind, right? Where they're using their imagination and fantasy. And I try to get the conversation there. If I'm talking about travel, for example, and well, where you might like to go, or what we, what kinds of stuff we would be doing, that's non-sexual, but it puts her in that part of her brain.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to transition into seductive conversation there. But just having the conversation period, and keeping her interest, keeping it relevant to her, keeping her curious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Demonstrating, DHVs without looking like you're trying too hard. Like, these are all nuances that guys are missing, and they have to get out there and do it, and they struggle with it. So I think it's a good concept, man. It sounds like it's a good course. And so I'm glad to do this, have you on and talk about it, talk about some of these little things. And so,
good stuff.
Yeah. If you guys are interested, I do have a link in the description of the video. You can hit that link and sign up for one of the tiers, and let me know how it is. We did have a guy in the chat here who already signed up and started looking at the list. Sounds like, and he's saying it's good.
Yes, he said it was Pedro, and he says, great course. I'm silver, and I got a lot of value. So,
awesome.
Good
so
testimonial.
There we go. We got a testimonial there too. So I mean, not that you have a ton of testimonials for your other stuff. I just haven't seen this one, but we got someone who already previewed it, who's watches my stuff too, and he says it's awesome. So
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, this only opened yesterday, so I've got a bunch of guys in there already, but it's open for the next few days. So it actually closes on Monday,
right.
midnight on Monday the 31st. So if guys want to get in, obviously now is the time to take action. The other thing to say as well is the price actually goes up tomorrow. So at the moment, for example, the base tier at the moment is you could get in for only $150, which is, like, to be honest,
a really good price. Yeah,
really, really low. But that's going to go up on Saturday. So if you are interested in this and improving this aspect of your life, then today really is the day to take action, because it's going to go up to $297 tomorrow. So just to put that in there as well.
Awesome. Well, there we go. So yeah, you guys, if you want to get in on this, do it within, before midnight tonight at least, and get the discount, right? Otherwise, sign up either way. If you're getting this later, sign up, because you'll have lifetime access to it and those upgrades. And better than waiting for the next sign up, because that price may go up as your upgrades go up too, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Because looking at the response to this so far, the response has been really good. There's a bunch of guys in there already, so clearly it's something that people want. And I think going forward, I can just add more and more content to this, because it's a good place for me to put this kind of footage, which I'm not really putting onto YouTube. So now is the time to get in for sure.
Awesome,
because then you've got that lifetime access.
Right. Well, that's great, man. It was great having you on. Love it. I got to jump on my consult now and do all that. So thanks, guys, for the support. Again, jam that like button if you haven't already, and make sure you're subscribed, and go to Troy's channel, subscribe to his channel as well. What's your channel again, Troy?
Just search Troy Francis on YouTube, Francis, and you'll find it.
Yep. So go over there and then get the course and improve your skills.
Great stuff, man. Many thanks.
Awesome. All right, that's it.
Much
I'm going to click off. Everybody, see ya. Thanks again, everybody, for the support.
See you later.
All right.